folks, this is Vincent Ali with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly check out Tesseract. This is another one of those cozy review videos that we do late at night. It's just so much easier for us to do. And Tesseract, it's a cooperative game where players work together to take dice from that 4x4x4 cube of dice. It's called a Tesseract. We're going to try and get those dice over to this board over here, and these dice are valued 1 through 6 of 4 different colors. You're trying to take this empty board and fill it all up with dice, which is what we did, and we actually won the game. You have to manipulate dice, you have to prevent the Tesseract from killing you, that kind of thing. The way you can lose is if this Tesseract runs out of dice completely, or if this breach track gets all the way to the top, which it nearly did. It was really touch and go there for a while. Each player will get a character, and there's more in the box, but I have the magnetic physicist, for example. Each of these characters has an inherent ability that they can use pretty much for free, and the other one actually costs one of your 3 action points that you get on your turn. On your turn, you, again, get 3 actions that you can do, and the actions are actually listed up here. You can remove dice from the Tesseract over here and put it into your lab. You can adjust dice, meaning +1 or -1. So you can turn this blue 3 into a blue 2, or this blue 3 into a blue 4. You cannot wrap from 1 to 6 and 6 to 1. You can also adjust dice over here in the primed area. And the primed area is one of the the primary way that this breach track goes up. If you ever have dice in here, if you have 3 of the same number, 3 or more of the same number, and you roll that number again, well, that breach track will go up. So if I were to at some point take a die from the Tesseract and I rolled a 3, that would be the third of that number, and that would cause this breach track to go up. So you're trying to prevent this area, this primed area, from getting too cluttered. If that happens, then this track is going to go up pretty quickly. But that's part of the adjust action. You can adjust dice up or down here as well to stop runs of 3 from happening. You can also contain, and contain involves taking dice from your lab. And as an example, let's just take let's take a 2 there. Okay, so if you have 3 or more dice that either have the same number on them, like 2, 2, 2, and they either have to be the same color or completely different colors. In this case, they are completely different colors. You can then take one of those dice and add it to the board over here, and sort of like you're filling out that board to win the game. And then with the remaining dice still in your lab, you have a choice. You can leave them as is, or you can re-roll them and take a reward. There are these little cards over here. I don't remember the name of them. Research cards. These are level 2 cards. They're the weakest, but these are free to play and they're one-offs. But these are like really powerful cards that let you do extra things on your turn for free. These are the weakest, and then these are like the next weakest, and then these are the most powerful. As part of the research act or the study action, you can discard a card from your hand and take the next highest. So if I don't see myself using this card, I can, as an action, just discard it and then take the next highest one, which would be this one. And then I can, again, use these for free on my turn. They do not cost an action to use. I can also transfer dice. I can transfer a die from my lab to hers or vice versa. And again, each character has some kind of unique ability on their card, and I could use that as an action as well. In my case, if I have 2 cubes of the same color in my lab and their sum is 7, I can transfer one to her and then contain the other one. So if I had a 5 here, 5 and 2 is 7, I could then take this 2 if I wanted to, put it in here if it weren't already there, and then take this 5 and give it to her. So there's all sorts of different characters in the box that have different abilities, which is kind of cool. And I really look forward to seeing what they all do. It is really cool. So anyway, those are the different characters in the game. And again, ultimately, you're trying to fill up this board. If you fill up an entire column, in this case, it would look this way. If you fill up all the ones, then you're going to have 6 cards that are going to be dealt face down to each number. And if you get 2 numbers of the same value in a column, you can look at it. So if I had 2 1s here at some point in the game, I can then flip this over and take a look at it. These are like the research cards in that they are one-offs, but they are available to every player. So you can look at it. Once you have the entire column filled up, like all 1s, then any player can then use this card and discard it. And these are like really powerful one-offs, so definitely make use of them as you can. We've used, I think, 3 this game. This one, and I think the one I just put back over here. So that was fun. And if you happen to fill up an entire row, 1 through 6 of a particular color, you can take a destroyed cube and then put it back into the Tesseract, which is up here. That will slow down time, as it were, and prevent the Tesseract from doing things to you. The Tesseract, as well, will, whenever it takes dice from the grid here, it takes the one on the lowest level first with the lowest value. So in this case, it would take this one. And you would typically, during the bad part of a player's turn, take the lowest one, re-roll it, and then add it to this primed area. That's how this affects this over here. But if it reveals any icon on this grid, you have to do what it says. And there's like a whole list of different things that could happen here. There's accelerate, fortify, chain reaction, and fission. So extra bad things happen to players. So yeah, in a nutshell, on your turn, you take 3 actions, and then the threat phase. That's where you take the lowest one and roll it like I just did, and then, bad things will possibly happen to you. This goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until you either fill up this grid here and win the game, or this breach track goes to 7, and in which case you lose, or if the Tesseract runs out of dice. That is a very high-level overview of how the game is played. I loved this game, although it is extremely hard, in my opinion. There are actually multiple difficulty levels. Here's the other grids we could have played with, and there's actually a number. Like, this is number 4. So that's like moderate difficulty, I guess. There's number 3. This is number 8. Wow. We played on number 1 for the record. Wow. This is number 7.
And we cut it really close too.
Yeah, we did. We were on breach 6. So one more breach and we would have lost the game. But there are harder difficulties in the box. But I'm intent on finding a house rule of some kind to make this game easier. Maybe 4 actions per turn as part of a tutorial kind of thing. Or maybe like you need 4 dice instead of 3 of a number to affect the breach track. I'm still playing around with ideas. Or each player is dealt one of these blue ones at the beginning of the game. Maybe give them some extra ones as a quick head start. That might be an idea to think about. So there are ways to modify this game. It's just not official in the rulebook.
Yeah, I would house rule this to, instead of using these one-off cards only on your turn, just use it anytime.
Okay, right.
Even another player's turn.
Yeah, typically you use these on your turn only, but like she said, maybe you could house rule it to where use it on any player's turn. That might be something to think about. Maybe if you want to have like multiple personality disorder, give yourself 2 characters with extra abilities. Like maybe you can be both of these for the same lab.
How many characters are there? Are there a lot?
There's quite a bit. Look at all these characters.
I would play this game with all of them.
That might be a little easy, but yes. Again, there are multiple ways to house rule this if you are into that kind of thing. If you're not rigid enough, then I'm sorry for you, but sorry. I guess that was kind of rude, but so it goes. I mean, I believe in having fun. So we could totally house rule this to make this easier in a variety of ways, which I like.
Well, it would have been nice, too, if we had, like, little token, like these little token icons here. If we had them, like, one of each of these event thingies. And then, like, if we use this, we can just, I don't know, like, cover up the tokens so that it would be, like, completely random.
Oh, I see what you're saying. But random is bad because some of these effects are more powerful than others.
That's true.
I might another house rule might be get a token. These are action point tokens. You can keep track of 3 actions, 2 actions, 1 actions. But as you reveal from here, you put it on there. So these only happen once per game.
Yeah, that's true.
So as you cover up these symbols, the next time you reveal it, nothing happens. That could be another house rule.
And then you have to like take it out so that the next time it happens, then it applies.
So I see what you're saying. So the next time the symbol comes up, add it, and then if it comes up again, you remove it.
Yeah.
And then the next time it comes up, you add it again, but then you do the act. So every time you cover it up, you do the act. I see. So you applied every other reveal. You would take that special action.
Sure.
Again, these are just spitballing ideas. How did you like this game overall?
I liked this game. I liked it a lot better than I initially thought I would.
Mm-hmm.
I hate the diagram. I wish it was just a regular dice. I wish it was just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Mm-hmm.
Because this iconography like boggles my mind.
You just count the number of dots on the dice.
I know. It's just like this 2 for some reason I keep thinking it's a 5. You know, and this 3 you kept saying 5.
Yeah, so, I did misspeak a lot. Uh-huh.
So I don't know. Like my brain doesn't wrap around this sort of diagram thing, but I really enjoyed the gameplay. It was slow at first. And it's like, well, I guess it really doesn't matter which one you get. But then, like, as time went on, it's like, oh my god, the breaches are actually happening. Like, too much.
I noticed that in the beginning of the game, we had a lot of choices because the Tesseract was full. It was a 4x4x4 cube. Now we have what? On this Lazy Susan thing that you put together, we had, I'm counting roughly, maybe 15 dice left. I don't know exactly. But that limits our options. And the faster you take from this to get things done in your lab, the quicker the game results in a loss for you. So it's a risk-reward kind of thing. You could take dice from here, sure, to do this stuff so you can add stuff here, but do that too much and you risk running out of dice on your Tesseract.
Now, here's a question, though. This says, right, relocate up to 2 dice on the Tesseract. So what happens if I relocated this, and this?
You cannot go up above 4 high.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so what if I did that and that? Do you still have to take the effect in the bottom?
Yes.
Wow.
Anytime you reveal an icon, you do it. You interrupt everything and you do it. And that's a reason why, like, if you get a card that lets you re-add dice to the Tesseract, you never want to cover up a space that's already been exposed, because on the next turn it takes the lowest level die and the lowest value. So this is the lowest level die. You roll this into the primed area again, and you do this again. Dang. So like you never cover up a symbol that's already exposed ever.
Unless fortify is actually not bad. So if you do that...
Yeah, you might have a strategic reason for fortifying. Fortifying is taking the lowest die on the primed area, which is then 2, re-roll it, and it's a 4, and now we got a breach.
Yeah, but then you have like this card, something like this, then you can add like two things on top of it and then have more choices to pick. Right? I don't know. It's crazy.
I love the art. I loved the abilities. I wanted to play with them all. I was looking through these cards and I wanted to use them all because they each had really cool abilities. I love these cards here. There's more in the box, which so like awesome. Again, you're gonna get 6 of these cards, 1 for each number. And again, as you complete a column of a number, you can start using them. I mean, there's not a whole lot, but these are the ones that we didn't use for this game.
That's great because that means that there's a lot of replayability.
There is. And the randomness of this Tesseract of 4x4x4 cube, it's 64.
Yeah.
64 dice randomized into this. And that's what here, this thing. This is the assembly thing. You put this over top here, and you put all the dice in here, and it sort of forms it for you.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
like a pool table.
Yes, it's like one of those triangle racking things.
Yeah.
I
like the art too. I think the art is really simple. But I like the comic booky character drawing stuffs. And yeah, I would totally play this again. This was a fun game.
Yeah, I definitely want to do a solo playthrough just to show off the entire game in its entirety at some point. I don't know when that's going to be with the Christmas holiday right around the corner. But this gets a huge thumbs up from me. I really enjoyed this game.
Yeah, same.
Anything else to say about it before we go? Aside from the fact it was a little... I felt like it wasn't balanced well on the easiest difficulty setting. Like, I think it could have been made easier in some way.
Yeah, I kind of liked how hairy it was, and I think it was only that hairy because it was our first time playing. I think now that we kind of have it down packed, we kind of know what to do a little bit better.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of like not math, but like probability solving. You know.
Yeah. Do I keep the dice?
Stuff.
Do I keep the dice I used as part of a set, or do I re-roll them for a card? A lot of times we had like a set of sixes, like we had 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, and then we just kept adding the sixes without re-rolling the dice. It was really nice. Other times, like, oh, the twos are useless now, so we might as well re-roll those. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's a lot of strategic options in this game. There's a bit of randomness because it is dice, and sometimes it's possible. Whenever you're priming dice from the Tesseract onto the primed area, it is possible to continuously roll, say, 4s, in which case you have to spend your actions sort of adjusting these away from the 4s, but you never know what's going to happen. So dice are dice. But, So anyway, anything else?
No, that's it.
All right.
Big thumbs up.
Big thumbs up. All right, folks, so that was Tesseract. This is Vince and Natalie. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you all next time. Take care.